Okay, hi guys. We're going to talk about spiritual awakening and how that plays into coming from a background of abuse or being around narcissists and or psychopaths or other kinds of toxic people, manipulative people, pathological liars. Many people who are in a place now of coming to evolving into a spiritual awakening were abused as children or have been in abusive relationships or at least have been around toxic people and have recognized at some point that there are people out there that are just poisonous and toxic. For some people, that was one of the driving forces that kind of drove you towards wanting to get to a higher consciousness level. And for other people, it's something that may be interfering with your getting to a higher consciousness level and, getting into a more spiritual state when you have these toxic people around you. And for other people, it may just be a nuisance and may not really understand about these kinds of people. The first thing that I would say it's very important to understand is that whatever background you've had, whatever your story is, your narrative, your story of your life, your childhood, your relationships as a teenager, relationships as an adult, where you're working, where you're at now, whether you are where you thought you should be at this point, none of that has anything to do with your ability to spiritually awaken and come to higher consciousness levels. It may be a block. There may be mental blocks that you're carrying in your subconscious that were kind of conditioned and programmed by those things. But whether you have the right to or are worthy of, people feel like they're not worthy yet, or they have to, cleanse themselves of things, maybe sexual abuse or different things, the relationships they've been in, or dark energies they've picked up from people. Any kind of cleansing rituals and things that you feel are helpful to you are fine to do. But just to let you know, there's nothing that you have to do like to earn or deserve, being able to get to a higher consciousness level or have a spiritual awakening, enlightenment, different things like that. Everybody comes from, everybody's a spiritual being. Everybody, is a spiritual being living in a physical body, whether you believe in reincarnation, per se, or, whatever your spiritual beliefs are. You are not any less worthy than any other person, or really, even if one person has studied maybe spirituality, maybe studied Buddhism, or studied, different kind of spiritual philosophies, read thousands of books. You don't have to compete with that person. You don't have to compete with somebody if you've been abused and they weren't. You are the spiritual being that you are is something that's separate from your story. The story of your life and things that have happened is kind of a construct. It's a framework. A lot of your memories of things that happened are framed by beliefs you're carrying in your subconscious, framed by beliefs that were programmed into you by your family, by society, and different things. So there's actually ways to reframe your story so even that you perceive your story probably more realistically or in a way that supports you better. So I just want to say that you shouldn't feel less than someone else or feel that you have to earn or deserve or something. Spiritual awakening involves a few things. One of the things is there's a lot of brainwashing and conditioning that happens in society, in your culture, religion, church, your family. And basically people have given you this certain things that you carry in your subconscious, back in your unconscious mind about yourself, maybe some negative beliefs about yourself, some limiting beliefs about yourself, about your role, about your limitations, about what's possible and what's not possible, what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad, and all these kinds of things. And everybody's carrying these certain things in their unconscious. What you need to do is get to a place where you can detach from all of that. Detach from all of that. Take everything as a program that was kind of installed into you. And if you listen or read some of Eckhart Tolle's stuff, he talks about just stopping all the thinking. When he does meditating and he used to sit on the bench, he talks about just stopping thinking. That thinking itself is not something that gets you to a higher consciousness level. It's the stopping of the thinking and just being in the present moment, feeling your energy, just, focusing on feeling your body and feeling, how you are an energy and you are a force, and your energy extends beyond your body. It extends beyond this physical shell that you're in. Even they've proven that scientifically, that they've measured, magnetic forces and energies that come off of you. And they can measure that from around you. So you most certainly expand beyond the body that you're in. And your brain that's thinking all the time, it has certain thoughts that go round and round. You may start to think of possibilities and things that you would like to do, the ways you like to see yourself, things you like to accomplish, and things like that. And then this other thought comes in: who do you think you are? Or that's not possible, or that's not right, or whatever kinds of things come in. What you need to be able to do is just detach from all that and just connect to the consciousness, connect to the fact that you're just a conscious spiritual being, and that your story doesn't define you, your relationships do not define you, this body does not define you. And connect to that higher spiritual self that is not conditioned, not brainwashed, not in a certain religion, not in a certain country, not, like certain things that you feel are limitations because you're female, or things that are limitations because of whatever. And just find for yourself what you see, what is possible, what is right and what is wrong for you, not based on things other people have told you. It could be as simple as somebody's told you that in your religion, that if you were a good wife, you would stay with your husband no matter what, even if he's abusive, even if he's mean. That you're breaking the religion, or something bad about you if you leave a relationship that's toxic. There's a lot of push in society for people to keep tolerating pain, keep tolerating abuse, and things like this. That's just something that has been made up, by religions and by people and structures that want to cause you to be subjugated. So one thing is, you're not a bad person to walk away from abusive situations or abusive people. You are not bound by anything really to stay with certain family members or friends or anything just because they're your family or your friends. You have to find what really supports you, and identify what you really want, what really makes you happy, what things you actually really want to do and don't want to do, that are real, that are coming from you, that are authentic, not what you think you should want, not what you think you should do, not the role you think you should be playing. So if you're able to do some meditation and different things, or if you I do hypnosis for this kind of thing, so if you're interested in doing some hypnosis, to access these things, I'll leave something, link for you below in the description. But you need to be able to detach what these programs are. It's kind of like bad software that was installed into your brain. Like there's like a matrix, like in the movie The Matrix, there really is. I mean, it's real, this reality that's been superimposed onto you. And if you could imagine that yourself, whether you're in this body or not in this body, were put down on a completely different planet, in a completely different system, different reality, different beliefs, everything, what still would be there that would be you? What elements would you carry with you if you were, in a different body, if you were in a different society, if you were in a system that believed things completely differently? If you were put into a different family, even however your family was, imagine you're in a completely different kind of family that functioned differently. What elements are really superimposed on you by that system of the family, or the system of your school, the system of your church? And what elements are really you, that even if you were put down somewhere else would still be there? Like, say in the society, if you're female and you feel like in certain ways you have to play certain roles because you're female. If you were put in a society where they didn't have those roles, were completely different. Certain situations where females are considered secondary, let's say they weren't in that society at all, so you didn't have to feel that way. So you have to be able to detach from all that programming and all that brainwashing and find what's really authentic. What are your real authentic feelings? What are your real authentic thoughts? And what gets confusing is that a lot of your thoughts are running from these programs. Your thoughts that you have that are going through your head are coming from these beliefs and these programs that are in your subconscious. So it's really more valid to go by your feelings and then try to generate thoughts based on your feelings. So say you're in a work situation that you really feel miserable in. Your thoughts are telling you, that's what the family expects you to do, or that's what I'm supposed to do at my age, that's what I'm supposed to do if I'm a single mother, that's what I'm supposed to, whatever, because if all those rules and parameters weren't there, how do you feel? If you feel bad in a situation, that's trying to tell you something. If you feel more desirous towards a whole different situation, then that's trying to tell you something. So identify with your real feelings about things and try to understand what you're really feeling, as opposed to what people are telling you should be feeling. And these are the first steps to awakening and being able to see through the matrix, being able to identify with your higher self and get to a higher consciousness level. Because as far as these I started talking about toxic people. Toxic people function at a very low consciousness. They function at a very low consciousness level, and they will tend to drag you down with them. So you want to be in situations with people that are functioning at a higher consciousness level, because it will allow you to be able to come up. Coming up while you're constantly around people at that low level is difficult. Sometimes you have to tolerate them for a period of time, but try to spend time away from people that are toxic and identifying who's toxic and who isn't. Who's toxic is who makes you feel bad. People you're around that you feel confused or brain fog or have low self-esteem, you have to be two people, one that's the presenting person and the other that's really you. Any situations that make you feel that way, people that make you feel that way are not supporting you. People that are good for you to be around are people that, accept and really like you for who you are, and the way you feel is okay. If you tell them how you feel about something, and they say, oh, that's how you feel about that. That's the way it is. So anyway, that's all I want to talk about for today. And this little bunny rabbit in the corner here, it's time for him to go to bed. Bun. Oh no, he won't come up right now. I'll bring him up another day so you can see him. I saw him. He knew I was trying to pick him up, and he backed up. He's so big now. He's like this big. Next time you have to come up. Yeah, I'll put them up on my lap for you for a minute next time. Okay, so those are my thoughts. You can, awakening is, it's like a process, and getting, higher conscious levels of process. And sometimes even you can sit and just for a matter of a few minutes, you can get those thoughts to stop or detach from them and observe them. Like if you're observing that, okay, yes, those are thoughts, those are things that are coming, those are thoughts, but they're not me, but they're thoughts. A lot of them are programs, a lot of them are put in by other people or by, societal structures. But I'm over here, up here, observing these thoughts. Even for a few minutes at a time, you can do that, where you're not attaching to the story, you're not attaching who you really are to your relationships, your situation, anything, where you live, or anything that's happened to you up to this point, because you are way more than that. You're beyond that. The possibilities are much bigger than that, much bigger. So that's my message for the day. Okay, peace.